Hi folks, hope you're doing very good. This short video is going to be about solving first degree equation, and as you notice, it's going to be part one for solving first degree equation or linear equation. As you remember before, I have mentioned that the goal for solving equation is to get the unknown, whatever the unknown is, alone by itself on one side of the equation only. So you already have the handout. I gave you the handout for solving equations. The goal is mentioned in there and it is stated what to do. And I'm going to solve some first degree equation, but we start with the basic simple one and then we expand and go to higher, more difficult equations. Alright, so let's start with this one, but remember your goal, and in the process of getting the unknown alone by itself on one side, we do a lot of math actions, we do a lot of math operations, and remember there is another rule that whatever math action you take on one side, you have to take the same math action on the other side. And the math actions are going to be addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and many more. But for the first basic easy one, we're going to go through different cases, and I'm going to present 4 cases for you. Case 1 is if you see addition, then you take the action, you take the opposite action of addition, which is subtraction. Then you subtract. Then you subtract from both sides. Make sure you subtract from both sides. So we subtract if you see addition. And I'm going to show you one quick one right here. So let's say we have an equation of x. Let me change my marker. This is not writing very well. Let's go to x. Yeah, that's better. Plus 6 is equal to 11. In order to solve for x, we keep the term with the x and get rid of the extra term. So here, the extra term is 6, and I'm going to write on it, this is addition, so therefore we're going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of extra term. And in order to get rid of it, you look at the sign, and if it's plus, you do the opposite of plus, which is minus or subtraction. But remember, if you subtract 6 from this side, you have to subtract the same on the other side. So therefore, 6 is subtracted from both sides, and the reason for that is very simple, because plus 6 minus 6 give you 0, and x come out alone by itself, and that's the goal. So the goal is to get the x alone, get rid of the extra term. You always do the opposite math action, and you'll be fine. So x comes out alone equal to, all you have to do on the other side is do the math. So you do the math on the other side, and you get the answer 11 minus 6 is 5. So therefore, the final answer for this equation is x equal to 5. You're done, finish. I'm going to take this further, one step further and one level higher, and I'll show you what happens if you have x on the other side. What happens if you have a fraction? So let's do one with the fraction, and the fraction one is going to be also simple. Let me write it right beside this one. So let's say we have m plus 2/7 plus 2/7 equal to 5. Well, let's put it 1. M plus 2/7 equal to 1, and you say, okay, what do I do? Now I have a fraction. It's okay. As long as it's a simple fraction, you can do the same concept. So case 1 is principle number 1, and the same principle apply here, because you have addition, you subtract. Therefore, we subtract 2/7 from the left side, and we subtract 2/7 from the right side. Now, if you notice, this side, the 2/7 and the negative 2/7 will cancel, and m comes out alone. So we have the m, the unknown, by itself, and it's a positive. And the other side, all we have to do is just do the math, and 1 minus 2/7 give you 5/7. Now, when it comes to fraction, you need extra sheet of paper, you need a scratch paper, because sometimes fractions is not as simple as this one. Sometimes you have to add and subtract and get the common denominator, find the LCD, go through a lot of fraction arithmetic, which takes time and doing it by hand. So you need pen and paper and lots of scratch paper. Alright, so that's that one. I'll show you some more as we go along, but let's look at another example that you may have the unknown on the right side. What happens if I have, for example, 24 is equal to is equal to 18 plus y. Okay, so on this side you're solving for y, but the y is located on the right side. It's okay, no problem. You look at the right side, you want to keep the y and get rid of the extra term. So what's the extra term? 18. So we want to get rid of that. That's extra term. And every time you have an extra term beside the unknown, you want to get rid of it because you want to keep the y, the unknown. So we keep that, we get rid of 18, and you look at the sign, and 18 is positive, so we do what? We subtract. We do subtraction of 18 on both sides, and there it is, 18, 18 cancel, and the y comes out alone, equal to, on this side, you do the math, and the math is going to give you 6. So therefore, it's easy to solve when you recognize the sign. So with your eyes should help you recognize the sign, and what is the sign of the extra term? If it's plus, you subtract, and you do the same on both sides, so therefore same action on both sides. But sometimes the y is on the right side, or the unknown is on the right side. Is it okay to leave it like this? Sure. If you have a number equal to an unknown, and the unknown is alone, that's quite fine. But you can reverse it and say y is equal to 6. So both of these are correct. Alright, now let's go to, we will do some more of case 1 as we go along, because you're going to run into this a lot. You're going to see the positive sign or the addition. Every time you have a positive sign, you do the opposite, and that's subtraction or the negative sign. And then you'll be fine in doing that. Now let's go to case number 2, and case number 2 is the opposite of this case. So case number 2 is if you see subtraction, then you do the opposite of subtraction, which is addition. So if you see subtraction, then you add, and then the addition that you do should be on both sides. You add on both sides. It has to be both sides because you are treating the equation equally on either side of it. All right, let me give you one quick example of this one. And once again, you always look at the side that has the unknown. You look at the side that the unknown is located and see if there is any extra term. If there is any extra term, get rid of it fast. So let's say we have a w minus 9 is equal to, let's put a negative here, is equal to negative 12. So, all right, we're going to solve for w, and you look at the side of the w, that's the left side of the equation, that's the extra term. So we're going to get rid of the negative 9. So this is the extra term, and every time you have extra term, you will get rid of it. And look at the sign, make sure you recognize what happened here. If it's subtraction, then you add. So you always do the opposite math action, and it is a subtraction. So we're going to add 9. The same number, we're going to add 9 here and add 9 here. Now, if you notice, don't worry about the right side. You worry about this side. You worry about the left side, because that's where you want to get rid of the 9, the negative 9. So another quick check is that if you have a negative 9 and a plus 9, and it gives you 0, you're doing the right thing. If it doesn't give you 0, you're doing the wrong thing. You're going around the circle. So guess what? Now plus 9 minus 9 cancel, and w comes out alone by itself. So you have w equal to negative 3. Don't forget, if you get a negative answer, write your negative sign, because 12 is negative, 9 is positive, so you subtract the smaller from larger and put down the sign of the larger. You know the rules of negative. You know the rules of addition and subtraction of negative numbers. So therefore, on this side, on the right side, you just do the math, and math calculation is negative 12 plus 9 give you negative 3, and that's the final answer. Now, how you check your answer? How do you know if your answer is right or not? Very simple. You got the value for the unknown, that's negative 3, take it and put it back in the original equation, and you have a negative 3 minus 9, that should give you negative 12. If the math matches and both sides are equal, boom, you're good to go. Alright, I'm going to show you another example of subtraction, because sometimes the subtraction doesn't look like a subtraction. Let's look at the situation that you have an equation that the subtraction is big. All right, let's look at this one. For example, let's say we have a 4D equal to a negative 23 plus x. All right, so that right here on the right side, I have a negative 23 added to x, and x is unknown, and we're trying to solve for x. But if you notice on the right side, even though that's addition, that doesn't matter. What matters is the extra term. We're going to get rid of the extra term. So this is the extra term, and the extra term we're going to get rid of. So we get rid of the extra term. Now you notice the sign is negative, so we do the opposite math action. We add 23, and we add 23. So you add 23 to both sides, and that way this side gives you 0, x come out alone, and x is equal to 63. So that's the answer right there. So don't be shy, stick with the reality, and don't do anything that is not mathematically provable. So you got to do math action, and it has to be verified. It has to be 100% mathematical, based on rules. So again, as I mentioned before, follow the rules. Make sure you do a right calculation, and you'll be fine. And then you can always take your answer or your solution. That's a solution for x, for the unknown. You can take your solution, put it up here, do the math on the right side, and look at the left side and see if they are equal or not. So negative 23 doesn't look like it's subtraction. It actually looks like it's addition, but you care about the extra term, and the extra term is negative, so you add that number so you can get 0, and they cancel out, so x come out alone. So once again, the goal is to get the x alone by itself on one side. And we have the x alone by itself on one side, and that's 63, and that's the final answer. So if you were to write it and reverse it, you could write x equal to 63, and box it, circle it, and then you can go home and celebrate. So therefore, that's subtraction. So if you see subtraction, you add. If you see negative, you add, and then you'll be all right. The goal is to get the unknown alone by itself on one side, and then do the right math on this side. So you always take care of one side first, then take care of the other side. You'll be all right. That's how you knock down the big bad boy. Next is do some kind of subtraction that is that involves fraction or decimal. Let's do the fraction or decimal. All right, let's do one fraction and let's do one decimal. In a minute, I'm going to show you what happens if you have a fraction. For example, let's say we have a minus 3 and 2/5. And that's equal to, for example, 8.5. All right? Then you say, oh, I got fraction on this side, I got fraction on this side. What do? You can follow the same principle of solving equation, keep the unknown, get rid of the extra term, and then if it's fractions, it's going to take more time. You grab your pen and paper and do the math action on the scratch paper. All right, so let's do the math, and then let's look at this situation and see what we have to do. We have to, guess what? We have to add 3 and 2/5. So we're going to add 3 and 2/5 on this side, do the same action on the other side, plus 3 and 2/5 on this side. Then on the left side, these two will cancel, so I have negative 3 and 2/5 plus 3 and 2/5 gone. Now this side I'll do the math, and the mathematics, you have to do it on the scratch paper, and you're going to end up with A comes out alone equal to A equal to 13, A equal to 11 and 9, 10. Now, this is easy work right there, but if it was harder, I would write it for you. This is going to be That's it. So 11 and 9/10 is the answer. All right, let's do one with the decimal, and with the decimal, you could have all kinds of situation. So, for example, let's say we have C plus or minus. Well, let's do it this way now. Let's do a minus 5.4 plus C is equal to a negative 9. So if you're solving for C and C is unknown, you always look at the equal sign and say, wait a minute, that's my equal sign, and the equal sign always is like a balance, it's like a bridge. So you got the left side and the right side, there is the equal sign, and the left side is a negative decimal plus C equal to a negative number. You focus on the extra term. So we're going to get rid of the extra term here. So that's the extra term, and you always say, okay, I'm going to get rid of the extra term because I want the C by itself alone. So therefore you say, that's negative. So what is the opposite of negative is positive. So you add the same number on both sides. So therefore you add plus 5.4 plus 5.4. And then here, the left side, negative 5.4 and plus 5.4 give you 0. C comes out alone by itself. And the other side, you do the math, and it's negative 3.6. I'm sorry, negative 3.6. Negative 3.6 is the final answer, and there it is, and it's negative. Now another advice is this. Sometimes, don't forget your negative sign, sometimes you get a huge number, sometimes you get a small number, sometimes you get positive, sometimes you get negative, sometimes you get decimal, sometimes you get fraction or mixed number, and sometimes you get 0. Don't be surprised if you get a 0. So if x is equal to 0, and that's a final answer, that 0 is a number. So 0 is a number. Let me write it down. 0 is a real number. So therefore, do not write no solution. So if you get a 0 and write no solution, I'm going to come kill you. I know where you live. So don't write no solution. It is a solution. 0 is a number. So whenever you get x equal to 0 or the unknown equal to 0, leave it like that. That is the answer. 0 is the value. 0 is the number, and you're good to go. Thank you. That's part 1. I'm going to do another short video for part 2. Good luck and stay healthy.